This is Navigating the Middle Market, a podcast by Pitcher Partners that tackles the make or break moments every successful business leader faces when taking your business to the next level. On the show, we'll talk to experts who'll share actionable insights to help you navigate the common pitfalls you'll experience when scaling up. I'm your host, Anna Hacker. Today we are chatting with Peter Braine and Geoff Coombes. Peter is a partner at Pitcher Partners Melbourne. Peter works with growing Australian businesses and helps them navigate the complexities of scaling up while maintaining strong foundations. His experience spans strategic planning, business advisory, and understanding what it takes for companies to attract investment and compete in today's market. Peter combines empathy with his extensive business skills and networks to support initiatives that make a positive impact on people and communities. Geoff is the founder of Stride 4. Geoff has created something quite innovative, the Stride 4 Corporate Challenge, a fresh approach to workplace wellness that's designed specifically for smaller businesses who want to build stronger teams without the hefty price tag of traditional corporate wellness programs. In this episode, Peter and Geoff will share how strategic wellness initiatives can help growing businesses preserve their culture during expansion, compete for top talent on limited budgets, and even strengthen relationships with clients and investors. Let's jump in. Hi, Peter and Geoff. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Anna. Great to be here.
Thanks, Anna.
I'm very excited to talk to both of you today. So, Geoff, though, let's start with the Stride 4 Corporate Challenge. What's it all about?
Yeah, great question. So Stride 4 is a new organisation set up around collaboration for impact. So we want to try and create a platform where corporates and charities can work closely together, bring more meaning and purpose into the workforce, but achieve impact on behalf of the causes we care about.
Sounds like a really exciting thing to be a part of.
I'm loving it.
It sounds like as well you have a lot of purpose in everything that you do, Geoff.
I feel particularly lucky in that regard. Yeah, I founded a number of years ago. I started a charity called Two to Cure, which has gone on to do incredible things around cancer. But for me, I realised that finding purpose at whatever time in life that you do just adds to what it is to feel like you are connected to others and find that tribe of people that you connect with.
And it also feels like Stride 4 Corporate Challenge is something where we have smaller businesses potentially who can't afford expensive wellness programs or gym memberships. This is something where they can actually become involved. So how can unconventional challenges like the cold plunges and team activities create meaningful impact on a smaller budget for businesses?
By design, it's for everyone at every size. So Stride 4 could take a team of 2 or a team of 200, 2,000. Scale is that beautiful thing that we can achieve when we get our teams behind things. But for smaller businesses, it's a nice way to connect. I think that small to medium enterprise aren't as sophisticated around their giving, and Stride 4 can create a platform for them to find purpose and find every individual's purpose because we help so many different causes. And in the process, we're there to back people's well-being as an organisation and foster that stronger corporate culture that we can all do with a little bit more.
And as well, I think that in smaller teams, every person's participation matters a lot more. There's a bigger impact that they can see themselves personally in those smaller teams. So how do you get that full team engagement when some employees might be a little bit sceptical potentially about wellness initiatives?
Yeah, the beauty of Stride is that our events are immersive. We created a series of events, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. By design, they are inclusive of everyone's ability and fitness levels. So it's a walk, it's not a run. And the challenges that we have along the course, designed for people to lean into if they feel comfortable, but equally if they don't, simply pass them by. But I think in doing it and people finding they've got the support of their colleagues and realising that they're doing it on behalf of a cause, in a lot of cases it's going to bring out that inner pride that people can do around being part of a small team. And that team in turn will grow and that collaboration as a team will strengthen.
And so, Geoff, in smaller organisations, they just simply don't have the capacity to organise something like a Stride 4 Challenge, do they? So that's where your organisation comes in and fills that gap.
Yeah, spot on. And from a charity's perspective, certainly we're there to try and help them, smaller charities right through to the big guys. But from a smaller business perspective, often they don't know where to start. And it is costly and they might do something in 4 or 5 different sectors, but to do something that brings us all together in one occasion and the well-being piece that comes from taking part as a team, doing things that are good and healthy for us in nature, connected as a community, despite the number of different causes we might be able to support, that's what we're trying to build.
It sounds unbelievably fulfilling for participants, for the organisations, but I'm assuming for you as well.
I love it. And I think to find what you love doing is truly a blessing. and then to be able to pursue it as I get to, and to continue to see how it can grow. One of the things we're building at the moment is also a digital challenge platform, which allows anyone anywhere to feel that sense of connection. So you might have employees that are hybrid and remote, but wouldn't it be nice if we can include them in something that they very rarely get invited to? They're not in the city, they're not in the big office, they can't come to these days, but we can create a platform for them to find purpose, align to a cause, take part in something that is focused on their well-being, their mental health, their physical health, engage them as a community despite where they live. And yes, if they can see that the business supports them and they can achieve impact for a cause that they care about, the results will be tremendous.
Sounds like a wonderful thing to be a part of. And so coming to that, Peter, in your experience advising businesses, how are companies using wellness programs to compete for talent without breaking their budgets?
Nowadays, particularly thinking about graduates, when they're looking at a potential employer, that's one of the things they're definitely taking into consideration as part of a whole package. It's not just the salary, it's not just the training and the opportunities. It's also things like what CSR initiatives are the business undertaking, what wellness initiatives, and things like Stride for is a whole different level from the fruit and the free coffees. So it's something that really adds value to that wellness proposition. And it's something that you're talking about the person as a whole. So it's their health and well-being, it's their community mindedness. Very valuable to have something that's just a bit more than just the tea and biscuits.
And it certainly helps organisations, I think, to show what their purpose is and how they're there to support the broader community beyond their employees and their clients.
Yeah, that's right. It's part of the broader CSR offering. So you've obviously got your employee value proposition, but you've got your role as a business in the community. And it shows that if a business is wanting to be involved in the community and wanting to raise money for charities and also focusing on the health and well-being of their employees, it's the whole package. It's something that will definitely set you apart from, the old soul businesses that were really just caring about profits.
And I agree that when employees are looking for potentially that next role, or grads are looking for their first role, they're looking for something that sets businesses apart, aren't they? They're looking for what sets the organisations apart from something else.
Yeah, I know, exactly, because a lot of businesses are the same, and then you're only comparing on salary or the name of the business. But the graduates these days are a lot smarter than that, and they care a lot more about the community. They care about the environment. And anything you can do that shows that your organisation cares about the community and cares about the environment is a big positive for those grads when they're evaluating their opportunities.
And so, Geoff, thinking about what a lot of probably our listeners are thinking about, which is as a company's growing, they sometimes lose that family feel as they're scaling up. So they're growing, they're expanding, the number of employees is expanding. How is it that that team-based approach can help preserve that tight-knit feel?
Look, I think it's very important, and particularly for the leaders of the business, to take a step back and appreciate those growth moments and remember what it was like at the smaller levels. But it's something that they can lean into at any time. And if it's a division of a team that can go and do something and then that starts to organically grow as a whole business, amazing. But quite often I think they've just got to realise that it's not as hard as they think. I think the challenge also sits, especially if you're bringing purpose into it, having so many different causes that are going to connect with your staff. Try and find a way that you can bring them together under that banner of this is us as community citizens, we're here for each other, we take our time seriously as we work, but the benefits of creativity and collaboration and, again, that staff retention and recruitment that comes from going, I love where I work. And I think a leader should always look at that. One of the things we really try to encourage is the leaders to, especially for our events, because they are inclusive, it's not going to put a leader out by going, I can come and do this, and show that position of leadership and strength in actually taking part. Don't just send the team to go and do it. Walk the talk, go and do it with them, and you'll realise the benefits are tremendous.
Because it's not just about the walk, is it? There's activities along the way, certainly with Stride 4.
Yeah, we've got what we call activation zones. And if it's a 10-kilometre walk, certainly the Melbourne walk goes past a number of the sporting precincts, so we'll include the sporting precincts, but it's an ice bath immersion, a silent disco, scavenger hunt, an AFL and a aeroplane challenge, and it's all things that are designed to be fun, a shared experience that everyone comes away with, which again is sometimes hard to find in that corporate environment. But over the space of 10 kilometres, you'll laugh, you'll tell stories, you'll have bragging rights, you'll realise that to put yourself in those positions is actually the chance that you get to grow in your friendships and your connection with your team.
And this is essentially a nice little packaged up opportunity for businesses to just come in, be a part of it, choose who they want to support, but bring their team together, which is often very difficult to find all in one spot.
It is. It's team building, it's community engagement, it's fostering your culture. But I think for businesses, you just got to take that step. Realize that it's a part of how you nurture your talent, how you represent your organization. And a lot of consumers really are doing the research around the brands and what they support. And I think that's something that as businesses grow to realize that, especially when you can be authentic in the way that you articulate, this is what we do for our people. These are the causes we get behind. This is the impact we've achieved. And the consumers they're making those decisions.
And so, Peter, looking at it from both a program delivery side and a business advisory side, what is the biggest opportunity that business owners are missing when it comes to that strategic wellness to compete with those large competitors?
One of the huge benefits of taking a holistic health and wellbeing approach is that you're actually allowing your team to be their whole self, and they're able to be emotionally, physically safe, fit, healthy, and the relationships as well. For something like Stride 4, you'll be walking with people, you'll be connecting with them. It's something you don't get when you're sitting at a desk and reviewing a file. So it all leads to a much more well-rounded person that's in your team. And when you've got a really well-rounded person who's fit and healthy and emotionally and psychologically secure, they'll perform better. And that lifts the whole business. So it's a great opportunity to really have a groundbreaking health and wellbeing offering that will make your business perform better because your employees are performing better, and that leads to better outcomes for everybody.
I just love that words like well-being are being used when we're thinking about employees and businesses and how to support the organisation as a whole.
I'm not going to quote a study, but the studies show that people do perform better when they're psychologically safe at work, when they're fit. I know myself, if I've got everything in balance, so that's my own personal fitness, my family life, my work life, and my community life, I'm performing better. And that applies to everybody. If we can get people performing at their optimum across the board, it's a fabulous outcome for any business.
And Peter, you work closely with business owners and their key relationships. So how can businesses involve clients in these team challenges to strengthen those critical partnerships? Because it's not just about business and employees. It goes broader than that, doesn't it?
And one thing that I value the most about what I do is my relationship with the clients. And some of those are multi-year, and with the firm, it's multi-generational clients. So I've actually invited some of my clients to come along and get involved. I've introduced them to Geoff, quite a few. So they can either get involved from their own corporate perspective, or they can come and walk with me. So I've invited quite a few. Like we were saying about those relationships, if you're sitting across a desk from people, you can build a relationship. But if you're out walking and you're out walking along the tan and you're having conversations about non-work things, that relationship improves. And again, you're only a winner out of that. Things are best for the business, best for the client as well.
We're seeing a number of corporates also do that, and recognising that to foster that relationship, that extension of friendship. And in some cases, and it's very, very well done, but they've actually said, we want to fundraise for your charity. So in turn, they're nominating their corporate partner's charity, showing their commitment to what obviously matters to their partner. And in the process, you can't help but strengthen those relationships. It's impressive.
And if we're thinking about building businesses and businesses scaling up, a different way of having a conversation, as you're walking, you're engaging with other employees in the organisation, that just seems like a far deeper connection than almost any other client interaction I can think of.
That's right. Hopefully I'm not too vulnerable when I'm walking up the Anderson Street Hill and having people laughing at me as I'm unfit. But when you're suffering together, you build much deeper relationships. We won't be suffering on Stride 4 Day.
No suffering. No suffering.
And there's the cold plunge if you need to.
There is an ice bath immersion run by Cool to Be Conscious. So they'll talk you through it. It's a 90-second ice bath immersion. But the idea of, again, testing ourselves, doing something that everyone can do, but often we don't get the chance to take on that opportunity. But no, I think all those challenges along the way, if you can't strengthen and foster those relationships with your colleagues, with your business partners, with the charity partners that you're there on the course supporting, it's a really special and exciting opportunity.
So, Geoff, I'm a business owner. I'm thinking this sounds great, but I just can't afford to disrupt my operations. What's your answer to that sticking point? Is it a sticking point?
It is a sticking point, and certainly some organisations, it's billable hours and they can't do things. So again, the do-it-yourself challenge is an option that businesses can look at. I think you can't afford not to, realistically. And if it's 2 to 3 hours, if you need to take a call on the course, you're very welcome to. But the business will see a huge uplift in the response from the people that take part that will more than make up for those 2 or 3 hours out, more than make up for it.
And so then, Peter, as a partner here at Pitcher Partners, working with growing businesses, how are strategic wellness initiatives impacting those company valuations and investor interest?
It comes back to the point about if the team's performing well, the business is performing well. And if the business is performing well, it's got a higher valuation. Quite simple, really.
So you almost can't afford not to do it, is what I'm hearing.
I think you can't afford not to do it, Anna. That's right.
It's an important part of the mix. And I think certainly that retention of staff would be a key one. And especially as businesses look to that growth and valuation to retain talent and keep that talent within the business and continuing to bring their best self, that's a huge part to it.
And so then I think that this is something I'd be interested to understand from probably both of you. When growing businesses are preparing for funding rounds, how do purpose-driven initiatives like Stride 4 help tell a compelling story to potential investors? Maybe Peter.
Geoff's last point is exactly it. If you've got a very strong, connected, well-performing team, it reflects on the business and it makes the business more attractive, even putting aside the financial side. You don't want to be looking at a business where the team's dysfunctional and performing at their best. So I think it just makes it a bit more easier to think about the fact that you're going to have this team, they're going to be ongoing, they're tight, they work together. I think it's a great outcome.
I think culture is rarely just a byline in a presentation. You know, a business that people are looking at investing in, they're going to walk the corridors, they're going to talk to people, they're going to feel whether there's a good vibe and a strong corporate culture. And I don't think leaders can underestimate that. And the value that it will present to that kind of investment round would be easily measured, but the business needs to commit to it. And it's not just a one-off thing.
It's something that really has to drive the culture as well. And actually the people have to, as you said, walk the talk. And from the top down, people need to be involved.
I remember when I started Tour de Cure, so back in 2007, very few businesses were acknowledging the impact they were doing on behalf of the cause. Now it's a lot more prevalent, but it's still got to come with a level of authenticity. That's what I'm hoping Stride can create, because we are achieving impact that is measurable, the well-being that people will take part in and feel, and then that ability to know that the charity is 100% better off because of the time and the effort we put into it. That's incredibly authentic. And that's something which we want our corporate partners to feel at every size of the business that they are.
That's a wonderful thought to leave our listeners with, I think. So thank you both so much for being here. Geoff, thank you for your generosity of time, and Peter, thank you so much for your expertise in the discussions as well.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Anna.
You've been listening to Navigating the Middle Market. This podcast is brought to you by Pitcher Partners Melbourne. To learn more about how Pitcher Partners can help you scale your business, head to our website, pitcher.com.au. To make sure you don't miss an episode of Navigating the Middle Market, be sure to subscribe to or follow the show in your podcast app. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star review. It really helps others to find the show. I'm Anna Hacker, and I'll see you in the next episode.